And today, which topics we are going to discuss? Yesterday, where I have started.
Sir, you stopped with the VRMS, V average, and
Different
V.
speeds of molecules in a gas.
Yeah.
Okay. After that, law of equipartition energy. Did I discuss that?
No, sir.
Equipartition, law of equipartition of energy. Right. First, let us start the discussion with the topic today. First, it is law of equipartition of energy. Actually, it is a Boltzmann's law. Actually, this topic should be discussed after the discussion of degrees of freedom. But I will tell you this degrees of freedom here first. Degree of freedom, the general meaning or definition of degree of freedom is a system in how many ways it can possess the energy. Or simply it is defined as the number of independent ways in which the system can possess or absorb energy. Simply to say, the number of independent ways of absorbing energy. Okay. Or in other ways, we can define this degrees of freedom as, for example, a particle, if it is moving in a single dimension like this, it can possess the energy in only one direction. So here the degree of freedom is 1. So how many coordinates needed to describe the position of the particle while it is moving? Simply to say, how many coordinates we need? Perpendicular coordinates, generally coordinates are mutually perpendicular. So how many coordinates are needed to describe the position or configuration of the particle while it is in motion? So if the particle is moving in a plane like this, so obviously here x direction, y direction, 2 dimensions needed or 2 coordinates needed, then the degree of freedom is taken as 2. Whereas if the particle moves in 3 dimension or it moves randomly, then what happens? To describe the position or configuration of particle at any instant, how many coordinates are needed? Means here y coordinate, x coordinate, along with that z coordinate.
Yeah.
3 coordinates are needed to describe the configuration or position of the particle. So that the degree of freedom should be taken here 3. So these 3 are translational degree of freedom, we can say. Because what kind of motion it is?
Straight.
It is a translational motion, we can say, or linear motion. We have different kinds of motions. Circular motion or rotational motion also is there. So it can be a rotational motion also can have degree of freedoms, and translational motion also can have degree of freedom. So degree of freedom we can take in two ways. One is in translational motion point of view. Second one is in rotational motion point of view. Here it is 3. I have taken in linear motion point of, so that it is translational, we can call it. Anyways, the degree of freedom, let us indicate with small f. It is having some expression to determine the value, like 3n minus k. Here f is the degree of freedom, where n is the number of particles in the system, whereas k is, we can say, the connections among the particles, or the relations among the particles, or you can say the link between the particles. So I'll write just number of relations here. Right. So if two particles connected like this, there is k value 1, number of relation, the connection between two particles 1. If three particles like this, then 1, 2, 3. So here k value should be 3 taken. If the three particles connected like this, structure will be like this, then this is one link, this is other link. So k value, number of relations here 2. Like that, k value is defined. So the degree of freedom of any system we can determine with the help of this expression. As an example, I will consider different examples here. First, a monoatomic gas. Monoatomic means a single atom. That means n value is 1 here. Single atom means definitely k value should be 0, right?
Yeah.
So there is no other particle to relate, so that k value should be taken as 0, and hence the degree of freedom for this 3 into 1 minus 0, it is 3. So the degree of freedom for the monatomic gas should be 3. Examples of monatomic is helium, neon, Ar, like that. Second, diatomic gas you can take. Diatomic gas examples, we want CO, N2, O2,
H2.
very nice, H2, and so on. Anyways, those are diatomic structure. The structure will be like this, the system structure for the two particles having only one relation among them. So that here n value is 2 and k value is 1. That means degree of freedom should be 3 into 2 minus 1, it is 5. So for diatomic gas, the degree of freedom should be taken as 5. And third one, triatomic gas. Here the triatomic gas, two possibilities are there for the configuration. Shall I go to the next page? Is it okay?
Yes, sir.
So the first, the triatomic gas, what I consider is here CO2, case 1, or CS2. This structure will be 3 particles in triatomic. So they are connected like this. This can be taken as a linear configuration. Whereas in the second case, in same triatomic, it is SO2, H2O kind of structures will be like this, the configuration having links as shown in this figure. So the difference is here in both cases number of particles is 3, triatomic, but here the number of relations 1, 2, whereas in this case the number of relations 1, 2, 3. Then the degree of freedom here 3 into 3 minus 2, that is 7. Whereas in this case, The degree of freedom is 3 into 3 minus 3. So it is 6. So the degree of freedom for a triatomic gas, that is again depending upon the nature of the configuration. Right? Rafael is 7 in linear configuration, whereas in non-linear configuration here, for H2O, SO2 kind of structures, it is F is equal to 6. Degree of freedom is 6 here. Like that, the degree of freedom can be taken for a given system. And in a other way, it can be described like, if you take monatomic gas, one particle is there. Translational motion can be happened in either X direction or Y direction or Z direction. So there are 3 independent ways of movement. So degree of freedom we have taken for monoatomic, it is 3. Right? Whereas for diatomic, 2 particles are connected like this.
Yes, sir.
So here, translational motion in X direction it can move this arrangement. In Y direction it can move. In Z direction it can move. There are 3 kind of translational motion. Right? So there are 3 degrees of freedom in this translational motion. Whereas if you consider this structure, recall that a rotational motion, how it can be rotated about a axis, it will rotate actually. Fine. So this structure, if you observe, it can rotate in a horizontal plane like this.
Yeah.
When is there rotation like this?
Yeah.
Horizontal. Sorry. Fine. So in horizontal plane means XZ plane. XZ. This is horizontal. Fine. Next one, the same plane, it can rotate like this vertically, right?
Yes.
Vertical in the sense
XY.
XY. Plane. Like this. So here the structure will rotate like this. In other case, the diatomic structure can rotate like this. Is there any other possibility for rotational means? No. Only 3 possibilities if you observe.
So why not YZ?
Why?
Why not YZ?
YZ. YZ, if you observe, is it vertical or not? Is it vertical or not?
Yeah.
Actually, this is YZ plane, what I want to tell. Your imagination, in XY plane, you imagine the vertical, no problem. Not a problem. Anyway, the pen, if you observe, vertical one rotation. This is the axis of rotation is my thumb. Other thing is this is.
Yeah, I understood now, sir.
If you take some angle, here you can rotate with this axis, but what we need, the coordinates would be mutually perpendicular only. Here, this is not perpendicular to any axis. So this you need not to consider. The degree of freedom definition is, we should consider the number of coordinates required, independent coordinates, which are mutually perpendicular, and to describe the position of the part. That is what degree of freedom. Is it?
Yes, sir.
So even if you don't know this kind of analysis, with this formula you can easily find the degree of freedom. But for your knowledge purpose, I have explained this analysis also. Each and every possible corner I will touch for you. Okay. Fine. Degree of freedom you can calculate now. What we need to find the degree of Freedom means just when you should know the independent ways in which it can rotate or move, the move motion. Other way, if you know the structure, the number of relations among the particles of the system, then you can use the formula directly without any confusion. Only two ways. Fine. So you assume that you can calculate the degree of freedom. Now the law of equipartition energy says that in each degree of freedom, for each degree of freedom, 1/2 kBT amount of energy is distributed. This much amount of energy for each degree of freedom. Any system will have certain degree of freedom, either 3 or 5 or 7 or 6. We have seen this. So here, for a monatomic, the degree of freedom, it is 3. Fine. A particular molecule, if it is moving with velocity v, the velocity can be in 3 possible directions actually: vx, vy, vz. So the kinetic energy of this particle, if you say half mv square, that is nothing but half m vx square vy square plus vz square. Generally, the kinetic energy of a particle.
Yeah.
We know. Next thing is, we know that kinetic energy of a gas, already we have discussed this one, that is 3/2 kT. Do you remember this formula? Yesterday we have discussed. I recall for
Yeah.
you. I recall for you, no issue. Pressure formula, the central formula for the total kinetic theory of gases, right? 1/3 N into M by volume into VRMS square.
Yeah.
This standard formula. From this only you can take any formula in the kinetic theory of gases. Fine, no, not a problem. Now half M square I want. Half M VRMS square I want. That means here this can be arranged like this, sir. This M is total number of molecules I will take here. Right. Here M VRMS square. We need half here. So from this expression, first I can write it as VRMS square M is equal to this 3, I will take this side, right?
Yeah.
3PV. Now I want half M square means both sides I multiply with half. That means half mv square is equal to 1/3 PV. We know that PV is equal to?
So 3/2, right?
Yes. 3/2. Thank you. 3/2 PV. So 3/2 PV. PV is equal to RT.
Yeah.
For 1 mole. So that 3/2 RT. Is it? 3/2 RT, how it can be written again? 3/2, if it is R by N T. So R by N is nothing but Boltzmann constant.
Yeah.
So this equation for 1 mole. Now, if I divide with N, I will get for 1 molecule, individual molecule. Is it? So RT is for 1 mole of gas. Now for 1 molecule of gas, I need to divide with Avogadro number.
Yeah.
So that this is equal to 3/2 kBT. This is what we have discussed yesterday, right? So 3/2 kBT is nothing but the kinetic energy of total system gas, right? So kinetic energy of the one molecule of the gas, we got that 3/2 kBt. One molecule only. Once again, I'm telling you, one molecule.
Yeah.
But here, one molecule can go in three directions: Vx, Vy, Vz. That's why this V square, I can write it as Vx square plus Vy square plus Vz square. Here also, one molecule only considered. Fine. Anyhow, the kinetic energy of this one molecule, according to this discussion, is 3/2 kBt, right? Or 3 times kBt by 2, or half kBt. Is it? Now, for the random motion of the particles, Vx should be equal to Vy should be equal to Vz, right? Then this can be written as half m 3 times Vx square, Vx square, Vy
Yeah.
square, Vz square. I can write it as 3 times Vx square is equal to 3 into half kBt. Right. Here, half mv square is kinetic energy. So 3 times the kinetic energy is equal to 3 times half kBt. Is it? So the kinetic energy or energy associated in one direction, x direction I have considered. That is half kBt or nothing but. In the similar way, if I consider Vy, that is also same. Vz, that is also same. So in each degree of freedom, how much energy is distributed means half kBt. Is it? Total kinetic energy is 3 times half kBt. 3/2 kBt. This is the equation. Since the degrees of freedom, x direction, y direction, z direction, we have to divide this total energy into 3 individual parts. That's why each will get half kBt. That is what the law of equipartition of energy says. If F is equal to 3, this is half kBt now for 1 degree of freedom, half kBt. If F is equal to 3 for total system, how much? Number of degrees of freedom for a system, if it is equal to 3, then total energy associated with each degree of freedom, how much means what I can do? For each degree of freedom, half kBt.
Into 3.
Now F value 3, that means 3 into 3. If F value is equal to 5, so the total energy associated with this total system is
5/2 kBt.
5 times half kBt. So if it is some, F is the degree of freedom is equal to F. Then in terms of degree of freedom, the generic equation can I write like this: F/2 kBt.
Yeah.
Here F is equal to 5. So 5. Instead of 5, I have written F. Right. This is for 1 mole of gas generally. If there are n moles of gas, so that energy, total energy associated with for each degree of freedom is n times the given expression, F/2 kBt. This is the equation you need to note. The energy associated for degree of freedom, general formula N F/2 kBt. kBt in terms of RT, what can I write? kB is nothing but, we know that R by NA.
Yeah.
So kBt means RT by NA.
Yeah.
RT by NA. Right. So for NA number of molecules, that is per molecule, if you want, based on that you can calculate. Now I'll show you the calculation of this. Always we are getting troubled with whether it is for 1 molecule or 1 mole. Different expressions we are confused. So totally I will give the comparison table now. to avoid the confusion in future. Okay. First of all,
Yeah.
is total energy. Law of equipartition of energy means you need to remember this one. What is the law of equipartition energy means? For each degree of freedom, the average energy associated or distributed part is half kBT. For F means F times half kBT. For 1 mole. For n moles, multiply with n. What is half kBT means? A single degree of freedom will get this much amount of energy. Single
Yeah.
degree of freedom. Single degree of freedom. Because degree of freedom is always 3, minimum 3 it is. If you observe, monatomic having 3, diatomic having how much? 3 to 6 minus
5, 3.
5. We got 5.
Yeah, 5.
After that, 7 and 6 we got for triatomic. So if you
Yeah.
observe degree of freedom, minimum value, we got 3. Right. So for each one direction, we'll get this much amount of energy, half kBT amount of energy. That's what the law of equipartition of energy law says. That is specified by Boltzmann. You can also call it as Boltzmann's law. Okay.
So what is the
Fine.
value of KB?
KB value I have derived, if you observe, while deriving the universal gas constant, R value I derived, immediately followed by that expression I have derived KB also. Once you verify 8.31 here, and this one some 1.8 into 10 to the power of minus 23, like that we got it.
Yeah.
Right, I have derived that value also. You got it? In the first class of kinetic theory of gases, right?
Yeah.
Fine, not a problem. Now, I will give you one table which avoids the total confusion about this. 1 mole, 1 molecule, 1 gram, or n number of molecules, m grams, different notations will be there. Here I will give the total comparison table like this. You observe. First, let us consider the gas equation. The ideal gas equation. The first class itself, I told you, in future I will clear this doubt. Now I am clearing your doubt like this. Ideal gas equation, we have considered like this. One thing is PV is equal to RT, one expression. PV is equal to nRT, other expression. Is it?
Yeah.
So first one is what? Second one is what?
First
This
one
is
is for
for-
1 mole.
Yeah, for 1 mole of gas, this is the
Yeah.
equation. Second one for n
N
number
moles.
of moles. This is the equation. Now, if I want for 1 molecule, the equation what I write is PV is equal
KBT.
to N to KBT, or I'm sorry. Yeah, first we take for what the thing is here. 1 mole of gas. How many number of molecules in that means? Na, Avogadro number, right?
Yeah.
So that for 1 mole PV is equal to RT. That means this is for Na number of Avogadro numbers, this much number of molecules. This is the equation. I need for 1 molecule. That means I need to divide the total equation with Na. So that PV is equal to RT should be divided with Na. So that R by Na T. That's what you are saying, that R by Na is nothing but Boltzmann constant KB.
Yeah.
Now, if I want to take the equation for N, capital N number of molecules, then PV is equal to 1 molecule. This
N
expression means capital N
Yeah.
molecules, capital N times kBt.
Yes.
Similarly, I want for 1 gram of gas. Then what happens means here PV is equal to RT. Here the gas, 1 mole of gas, it is molecular weight M, capital M, if I take molecular weight. Is it?
Yeah.
Then I have to 1 gram I need means here capital M grams here is a molecular weight. So that RT I have to divide with capital M. This I'll write with some letter small r into T. What is small r means here?
R by M.
R by M. This is specific gas constant. In future, I will bring into picture one more similar variable gamma. It looks like similar in the textbooks. That is actually the ratio of Cp by Cv. Cp by Cv is that ratio, specific heat ratio actually. This is that is indicated with gamma, not R. This is specific heat ratio. I will discuss today itself.
Yeah.
Don't confuse here. This is small r. That is gamma. This is a specific gas constant. That is a specific heat ratio. Fine. So 1 gram, I get the equation in terms of specific gas constant. Next, last one. If I want for small m grams of gas, the same ideal gas equation, we can write it as multiply with m. 1 gram means RT. M gram means m times RT.
Yeah.
We can write like that. Next, this is ideal gas equation for different cases. 6 different cases I have given to you.
Yes.
These are all the possibilities to ask any question. More than this is not needed for us. Whereas kinetic energy equation is what? Just now we got kinetic energy equation is 3 by 2 RT. In terms of RT, not kBt. In terms of RT, kinetic energy is this one. Huh?
Yeah.
So actually, this is for 1 mole. The kinetic energy 3 by 2 is for 1 mole. Whereas for n number of moles, this kinetic energy should be multiplied with n. N times 3 by 2 RT. Whereas this kinetic energy for single molecule, if I want, immediately R multiply with Na, because 1 mole, Na number of molecules, 1 molecule I need. That's why R divided by Na. So that I will get 3 by 2 RT, R divided by Na here. So I will get 3 by 2 kBt.
Yeah.
Similarly, for n number of molecules, what is the kinetic energy for n number of molecules combinedly means multiply with n. 3 by 2 kBt. Similarly, for 1 gram of gas, what is the kinetic energy associated? Means immediately same thing. R divided by m you can do. So that R here R divided by m is R. Now 3 by 2 T is remaining. Is it?
Yeah.
3 by 2 R T. In the same way, m grams means you multiply with m this expression. So m times 3 by 2 small r T. Kinetic energy like that we can derive. And same thing, law of equipartition of energy, the energy associated with each degree of freedom, how much I got? Degree of freedom for 1 mole, F by 2 kBt, is it? For 1 degree of freedom, 1 by 2 kBt. For F degrees of freedom,
F by
F by 2 kBt. That is actually for 1 mole, right? For 1 mole, a particular one molecule having 3 directions, F number of degrees of freedom. Okay.
So how is it 1 mole, sir? If kBt is used, it should be for 1 molecule, right?
You go to the previous page. For F degrees of freedom, what is the formula given? F by 2 kBt.
Yeah.
For n moles, again I have given. N moles means n into F by 2 kBt.
Okay. Yeah.
Is it? So for
Understood.
n moles, nf by 2. For 1 mole, F by 2 kBt. This F by 2 kBt is also for 1 molecule or Avogadro number of molecules. That is also important. Here, Boltzmann constant is coming means Kb value says that R divided by Na. Whenever Kb you are seeing, you remember that is per Na number of molecules, not per single molecule.
Yeah.
Right? So like that Kb is there, so that this equation for third case. Immediately can remember, this is for third case for single molecule of 1 mole of gas, it is. And for n molecules, if you want, this is simply n molecules here. So capital N multiplied by F by 2 kBt. Now come to 1 mole. Here 1 molecule having this much means n 1 mole should have Kb multiplied by Na times.
Yeah.
Kb multiplied by Na is nothing but capital
R.
Kb
Yeah.
multiplied is R. That's why in the first case, this equation should be F by 2 Kb multiplied by Na is replaced with R T. And for n moles, simply multiply with n. Nf by 2 RT. So the difference is only one thing. If it is 1 mole or n moles, R will come into picture. If it is 1 molecule or n molecules, Kb coming into picture. That's what the comparison table we have to observe. So what is the comparison table we have to observe means simply this thing. When 1 mole to n moles are coming, R will come into expression. Whereas if the discussion is about molecules, definitely R is divided with Na. We will get the expression in terms of Kb. We can easily identify now. Whereas in weight point of view, grams, if we are getting the expression will be in terms of the specific gas constant. Here you can tell the expression. What is the expression? Here simply, if it is RT here small rt. If it is RT multiplied by F by 2, that means here also F by 2 small r replaced with capital R replaced with small r T.
Yeah.
If you observe first and fifth case of ideal equation, you will get this also. And this one also obviously for m grams multiply with m.
Yeah.
Now the total table, if you observe once later, you can easily avoid any doubt regarding these expressions. In different topics, in different areas, if you see different expressions, definitely there will be a lot of doubts. Combinedly, you can analyze simultaneously like this. The best method of resolving all doubts. Is it okay for you?
Yes, sir.
So it is not here like this. You write it neatly and have a look at it after the class. You clear all your doubts. Okay, okay ma?
1 second, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Work out on the table later. that is about degrees of freedom and law of equipartition of energy, very, very important for us. And now we will discuss about specific heat of a gas. What is specific heat means? Simply, for a system, how much heat should I supply to raise the temperature by 1 degree? Right. The temperature of the system we can raise by supplying some heat. How much amount of heat is needed to increase the temperature of the system by 1 degree? Right. So that is a specific heat general definition. It can be performed at a constant volume or at constant pressure. Two cases. The temperature can be increased by keeping volume constant or by keeping pressure constant. So in both ways, it can be defined like this. And also this amount of heat supplied needed to supply, we know that it is proportional to the number of moles of the gas in the system, and it is depending upon the actual temperature of the system. Initially, how much it is temperature. So we can take it like this. So combinedly, this is actually N into T. T means how much temperature is needed, raised, increased. So we can represent with the delta T. Here, this proportionality constant is that C, specific heat. This specific heat, in the first case, keeping volume constant, it is defined with CV. It is nothing but Q divided by N delta T.
N delta T.
Same thing. Similarly, if pressure constant, it is represented with C suffix P, but obviously it is also given by the same formula.
Yeah.
But the value should not be same. Here equation may be same, but value not same.
Yeah.
Definitely the value will change. That we will see now. CV, CP, the definitions will be like this. Both are having same definition. To increase the temperature by 1 degree, how much amount of heat should be given to the system at a constant volume is CV, at a constant pressure is CP. Like that we can define easily, not a problem. Now we will see one formula here. Mayer's formula. Now observe the first case, CV case. Here the volume is constant. Fine. When volume is constant, whatever the work done, that is given by pressure into change in volume. This should be 0. Since volume constant,
Delta V is constant. Yeah.
delta V is 0.
Yeah, delta V is 0.
Then work done also 0. Then the first law of thermodynamics says that delta Q is equal to delta U plus delta W, or Q is equal to U plus W simply. So W is equal to 0. So in this case, we can say that Q is nothing but U.
Yeah.
Or internal energy of the system, U is equal to, what can I write? Here Q is equal to, in CV case, CV N delta T.
Yeah.
So CV N delta T is U. Fine. Whereas in the second case, CP, here pressure is constant, but volume can change,
Yeah.
is it? Then Q is equal to U plus W both. Fine. This U plus W or Q at the constant pressure is nothing but CP M delta T.
Yes.
CP and delta T. Now CP and delta T is nothing but U plus W both, not single U. Now if you observe from this equation, from the above CV equation, what we can write U, CV and delta T. CV
Yes.
N delta T plus the change in work done or work done W is equal to CP N delta T. Now, from these two, W can be written as this term. I am taking that side, and I am taking N delta T common. Can I write like this? CP minus CV. Hello?
Yes, sir.
Are you hearing me?
Yes, sir.
Internet connection is slow. That's why this is disconnected suddenly. Wait a minute. Oh my God, the expressions will go up. So you have written the expressions now?
Yes, sir. W is equal to N delta T.
I'll
CP
write,
minus
not a
CV.
problem. Not a problem. I'll write. You can just verify now. So what I got is in the dash tab W. We got that CP minus CV N delta T. Is it?
Yeah.
Now, if you observe NT, what I can get from ideal gas equation, which is saying
PV
that
by R.
PV is equal to nRT. So PV by R, is it?
Yeah.
NT is equal to PV by R. Fine. So here CP minus CV into N delta T is equal to N delta T is PV by R, and work done is what actually?
P delta V.
P delta V. And this equation I am writing like this: CP minus CV is equal to P delta V divided by N delta T. So P delta V by N delta T, what can I write?
R.
R. Simply can I write R? I don't need to consider this equation then. Direct, I come to direct equation.
Yeah.
So that CP minus CV, finally we got that is equal to the universal gas constant R. This is the Mayer's formula for us. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Keep it in box. It is also important expression for us. Will be used in future. And now these specific heat ratios, in terms of degrees of freedom, we need to know. In terms of degrees of freedom, F. Okay. CV, what I got earlier. CV. in terms of U or Q by N delta
U
T.
by,
Q
yeah.
by N delta T, that is nothing but U by N delta T.
Yeah.
CV. And degrees of freedom, we got that total energy is F by 2 RTM.
Yes.
F by 2 RT we got for E total. So total energy of that system of degree of freedom F means that is nothing but internal energy for that system.
Yeah.
This total energy we have discussed, okay. That is nothing but the system energy we are representing with U here in this expression.
Yeah.
So that this U is nothing but F by 2 RT. So here U we got that CV N delta T from this expression. And from this expression, it is should be equal to, in terms of degree of freedom, the expression is F by 2 RT. Is it?
Yes.
This is equation 1, this is equation 2, this is from 1 and 2 simply. Then delta T means change in temperature, that is T. Same meaning. And CV is equal to how much here then? CV is equal to F by 2
CP plus.
R. Actually, this is for
Yeah.
one mole equation I have written, but here CV I have taken for n number of moles. So
Yeah.
let us make it uniform. Here also n number of moles I will take. Then it is n F by 2 RT.
Yes.
Then n also can be cancelled. Both should be at uniform quantity. So CV value in terms of degree of freedom, if you want, simply the expression is F by 2 R. And Mayer's formula says that CP minus CV is R. If I substitute here, CP is equal to R plus CV. So CV is, we are getting that F by 2 R. If I take R common, 1 plus F by 2.
Yeah.
So C, specific heat, CP is, this is the expression, CV is, that is the expression. This is equation A and this is equation B, we can consider. Now the ratio of specific heats is gamma. Earlier I told you there is one ratio of specific gamma. This is the equation required, that is gamma is equal to CP by CV. So this ratio in terms of degree of freedom, if you want, use the equations A and B. So CP is R into 1 plus F by 2. CV is F by 2 R. So R gets cancelled. Now F by 2, this is 1 plus F by 2 in the numerator, denominator F by 2. If I simplify this one, what I will get? First term 2 by F.
Plus 1.
The second term will cancel. So 1 plus 2 by F. Is it? Simply gamma, what we are getting in terms of degree of freedom is a simple expression 1 plus 2 by F. This also should be remembered. So we got CV in terms of degrees of freedom. We got CP in terms of degrees of freedom. And we got the ratio also in terms of degrees of freedom like this by using Mayer's rule. Fine. Like that it is going, specific heats. Now gamma value, if you observe 1 plus 2 by F. This gamma value 1 plus 2 by F for monatomic gas. What is F value?
3.
3. For diatomic it is 5.
5.
For triatomic
7 or 6.
Yeah, 7 or 6. Then here for monatomic gamma value how much?
5 by 3.
Gamma is equal to 1 plus 2 by 3. That means 5 by 3. Here gamma value 5 by 3. 5 by 3 means how much? Approximately 1.5. 6 or
1.66.
right. If F value 5, what is the gamma value?
7/5.
7/5. 7/5 equal to how much?
1.4.
4. So for diatomic, gamma is equal to 1.4. For triatomic, if F value is 6, take it. What is the gamma value?
4/3.
4/3 means 1.333 something.
3.
So here gamma value is 1.33, and if it is 7,
Then it is 9/7.
9/7. That is 1.2 something.
1.2. Yeah.
Anyways, as FL increasing, gamma value decreasing. Fine.
Yeah.
FL increasing, gamma value decreasing. But the point to be noted is here, it is 1.6, 1.4, 1.3, 1.2. Gamma value always greater than 1.
Yeah.
Means CP/CB greater than 1.
Yes.
That means CP always greater than CB. You can conclude this point. Okay. And one more topic, mean free path. Actually, in the beginning of the chapter, I have just introduced this word, mean free path, if you remember, right? Do you remember this mean free path? In a particular container of gas molecules will move and they collide with each other.
Yeah.
After collision, what happens? It won't stop. It again changes its direction and magnitude of velocity. In its path, again it will collide with other molecules, right? And
Yes.
walls of the gas also. So different gas molecules like this, it will go in its path. In its path, if it is having any molecule in the opposite direction, collide, and it changes direction. Again, it collide with other, and it may change its direction. Collides like this. We cannot say exactly in which direction it changes. It is completely random manner. Anyways, in different paths, it will go and collide with others. Anyway, here if you observe, before the first collision, it is traveled with distance λ1 distance, it is traveled, assume. And then λ2 distance before second collision. Before third collision, λ3, λ4, and so on. So the mean free path is nothing but λ1 plus λ2 plus λ3 and so on. How many number of collisions? That many.
Yes.
Okay. One is number of collisions. This general introduction point I have given that day. Now, if you observe here, this lambda or number of collisions, if it is increasing, particular volume we have considered here. In this volume, same volume, if more number of molecules are there, okay, there are more number of molecules, then what is the situation now? The molecule which is the particle, while it is traveling, immediately it will collide with other. Then the λ1, λ2, all distances will decrease up before collisions.
Yeah.
These are all decreasing. Then overall mean free path value decreases.
Yes.
So as the number of molecules, if it is decreasing, collisions will increase first. Then mean free path value will decrease. I'm sorry, this is n value increasing. Number of molecules increasing, collision is increasing, mean free path value decreases. So we can say that lambda should be inversely proportional to n.
Yeah.
And take a particular volume. Here one particle, here one particle, here one particle. It is going like this. There is no collision.
Mhm.
Here, this particular particle having diameter d. Every molecule or particle of a gas should be considered as a sphere. Sphere should have some radius or diameter.
Yeah.
Okay. So this diameter d1, if it is increased, now this is the particle. What happens means here diameter increases. Then if this particle want to move this side, definitely it will collide with other particles.
Yeah.
In the first case, no collision. In second case, collision occurs. Why? So as the diameter increasing, collisions increases. If collision increases, mean free path value decreases. So we can conclude that this mean free path value is inversely proportional to this diameter also. Okay.
Yeah.
So actually the equation which is derived from this phenomena. So the particles will move randomly. Nobody can give the exact equation which can be derived from the standard formulas because it is completely random in nature. Nobody can say any particle in which direction it can go. But on consecutive conduction of the experiments, we can derive some standard formulas. A regular observation if you do, even if it is random, definitely we can observe some common phenomena. So based on that common features, some equations can be derived. So the equation derived in this case is like this: 1 by root 2 pi n d square. This is the formula for mean free path. Here n is number of molecules.
Molecules.
Number of molecules. I will consider per unit volume now. So 1 meter, 1 meter, 1 meter. So unit volume. Okay. Then 1 mole of gas. 1 mole of gas, how many number of molecules? We know that Na by Vn
22 point.
or whatever
Yeah.
the value. Na by V is nothing but this small n value what we are using in this formula.
Huh.
N value what we used in this formula is nothing but Na by V. Now PV is equal to nRT if we consider 1 mole I have considered, that means PV is equal to RT if I consider. Can I write R is equal to Na into Kb?
Yeah.
If volume is unit volume, or this one nothing but I'll write like this: Na by V Kbt. Na by V is nothing but small n. As per our consideration, it is small n Kbt.
Yeah.
This equation is used here. So n value what I can write? N is equal to pressure P divided by Kbt.
Mm-hmm.
Now this equation consider main standard equation and use this equation n here. Lambda mean free path expression I am considering, and I am substituting this n value in that equation. Lambda we got standard expression root 2 pi n d square. That I am writing 1 by root 2 pi d square. N value we can write it as P divided by KBTN.
Yeah.
This is the expression. Then the mean free path value depends upon which factors. That is a very important question or important point to be observed in this topic. That is, this mean free path, if you observe, it is directly proportional to the absolute temperature Tm.
Yeah.
And if you consider the remaining down parameters, lambda is proportional to inversely proportional to pressure,
Mhm.
and mean free path is inversely proportional to the diameter also.
Yeah.
So square is there. But diameter increases means mean free path should decrease.
Yeah.
And earlier we have considered it is inversely proportional to the number of molecules also. Fine.
Yeah.
And one more point I will tell here, 1 by root 2 pi, if I multiply n with the mass of each particle m, multiply and I am dividing like this. Is it okay? Then n multiplied by m indicates what?
M.
Total mass. Total
Yes.
mass. Single mass is small m. Total number of molecules n. N into m is total mass. Now mass density is nothing but the density of gas. If I consider mass, total mass per volume,
Yes.
total mass is n by m into v. Here we consider that unit volume v is equal to 1. That means n into m, we can write it as the density of the gas.
Yeah.
Is it okay? Then this
Mhm.
equation can be further written as m divided by root 2 pi and density d square. Further, what I want to write is this mean free path is directly proportional to the mass of each particle, because H2 mass is different from O2 mass. Gas changes, mass changes. And this is inversely proportional to the density of the gas. So all these factors depending, mean free path depending upon which factors means how many. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 points I have derived finally. Then if they ask the graph in the advanced level, what is the mean free path variation? If it is mass here, what we can do immediately? Mass is direct.
Yeah.
Directly, so straight line you can take. If it is a temperature, you can take a straight line. If it is a pressure, we know decreasing.
Mhm.
Lambda versus pressure. If it is a diameter of the molecule, d square is there. That's why steep curve. Decreasing faster than pressure graph. Pressure graph. N, number of molecules n, that is also. Yeah, this is diameter. And density also, mass density also. This is pressure, this is the number of molecules, this is density. You can derive any graph from this. Graphical work also important in thermodynamics. In this second track, graphs they are focusing more. In thermodynamics also I have discussed a lot of graphs, and in kinetic theory of gases also, wherever equations come, you try to work out on graphs also. I am giving you maximum possible graphs. Here while I am teaching itself, I am giving you all possible graphs. Further, they can derive some new expressions. If you have knowledge of how to derive these graphs, you can easily face those graphs. That is what my intention. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Right. So mean free path topic is this one. Some equations, some graphs, and some factors depending on everything we have covered. The last topic, and in the kinetic theory of gases, the last topic, what we want to discuss. A small point is simply not a big topic. Your time is up to 5:20, yeah?
5:30.
5:30, okay? Okay,
Yeah.
anyway, this is last topic. After completing of this, we can wind up. Not a problem. This is Brownian motion. He has some small observation like this. A container consists of a gas, or we can say some fluid. A fluid which contains some molecules like this. If you suspend some particle here, in this fluid, we have suspended a particle. This particle of small dimension, 10 to the power of -5 meters approximately, diameter of this particle. Such a small particle as suspended. Then the Brownian observation is this particle movement will be some zigzag manner. Simply we can observe here. We know that each particle of gas will travel with different velocities. It will collide with particle. The particle definitely is participating in collision with some other particle. After collision, what happens? This particle move. During this movement, it will collide with any other particle. After colliding, that particle again moves and collide with other particle or walls of the gas like this. The particle will move because of the collision with other particles. The path it is traveled in the fluid, if you take, that should be in some zigzag manner. That is what the observation of Brownian. Because we know that any particle path traveled in that volume will be zigzag manner only, right? Because all particles move with a random motion or random direction with a random velocities. So obviously that will have some zigzag paths only. So that he has explained like this. By taking some particle and suspended in the fluid, he has separately explained like this. So he named it as Brownian motion. This Brownian motion, depending upon which factors means again, if temperature increases, what happened to the Brownian motion?
Increases.
It is increases.
Yeah.
If it is pressure increases, then also motion will increase. Right. Like that, if number of molecules are increased, density increases. The Brownian motion will disturb. So the factors that affecting the Brownian motion also he analyzed like this. But he has not given any specific equation to discuss. We don't have any expression for this. Already he said that this is in zigzag manner. There is no point to discuss the mathematical expression. If we have a mathematical expression, we cannot say that is going in zigzag manner. Zigzag, the meaning is itself no equation. But anyways, we have to observe which factors affecting the Brownian motion. We can observe. Temperature changes, if pressure changes, or if density changes, definitely the Brownian motion will affect. That's what we can observe. That's a small point to be discussed in the kinetic theory of gas itself. This one. Any points if you remember, or if you have any doubt, you can ask me. Throughout this kinetic theory of gases, just to go through it slowly. Any particular point, doubt, or any question, if you want to ask me, you can ask, not a problem. Or you can work out later, not an issue.
So for the Maxwell speed distribution law,
yeah,
Like, is it always in that order? Like VRMS will be bigger than V mean,
Yes.
like for all
yes.
gases?
Yeah,
Okay.
for any gas, we just say like this. Velocity will be up to infinity, from 0 to infinity. Whatever it may be, the graph is such that peak value indicates that more number of particles having this velocity, most probable velocity. This area and this area should not be equal. That is his observation mainly. That means velocity, most probable velocity should be less value than average velocity. If this is average velocity, definitely this area will be same,
Yeah.
approximately. That's why height will be more before the average value. Height will be less after the average value. But compensation is this less value and this is wider graph. That's why average will be middle in the sense that left side, right side of the average value velocity should be equal area. V average, if we consider here, which is most probable velocity less than V average, which is less than V RMS. Is it?
Yeah.
This should be satisfied for any gas in any condition. This is also, we should say that probabilistic graph. That gives some probability means there is some hypothetical. So in graduation level, you will have some equations for the probabilistic curves. Of course, I have given the exponential equation also for you, for the Maxwell's equation.
Yeah.
That's what you need to get the idea from the Maxwell's speed distribution. Any more? What about tomorrow? Are you free?
Yes.
Or some other classes there?
No,
Tomorrow,
sir, you
okay?
can come tomorrow. Yeah.
Tomorrow at what time?
Wait, sir. 3:30.
Again 3:30. Okay, fine. 3:30 tomorrow. No problem for me.
Sir,
Okay.
tomorrow new chapter.
Tomorrow, I want to start this remaining part of this temperature heat concepts.
Okay.
Means, thermometry, calorimetry, thermal expansion,
Yeah.
transfer of heat, all related to the temperature heat concepts. Because thermodynamics and kinetic theory of gases both are related to those only. So that if we discuss that one, total this track will be completed. That helps a lot. Instead of going to simple harmonic motion, first if we complete this one, then we can go for simple harmonic motion, or some more topics we left is elasticity and surface tension. Those are some individual topics we can discuss separately, not an issue. Right? So the remaining part of this track I'll start tomorrow. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Right, Mel. I am stopping the sharing here. Okay.
Yes, sir. Okay, sir. Bye.
Okay, bye.